Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's Aaron the History Buff, otherwise known me as Mr. Aaron here. So, how are you guys doing today? I hope everyone is doing awesome today here. So in today's video, I'm gonna be deciding to I'm gonna be reacting to another history video here again here by the History Matters, who is one of my favorite YouTubers, history YouTubers that I watch here. So in this video, we're gonna be reacting to his video about the most successful pirate ever, and about Bartholomew Roberts here. So yeah, we're going back to like basically the history of the series of the history of the pirates and the Golden Age of piracy here. So we're gonna be watching this video here, and yeah. And if we look down here in the description, it says this episode covers a short career of Captain Bartholomew Roberts, who ransacked the Caribbean over 3 years period from 1719 to 1722. He raided the west coast of Africa in 1721, and the next year he was hunted down by the HMS Swallow, captained by Chaloner Ogle, who in the confrontation of Roberts was killed, and his death was seen many by the mark of the end of the Golden Age of Piracy. So, yeah, so this is the video we're going to be watching today here. But before we get into this video, if you guys haven't yet, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, don't forget to comment, and turn on the bell notifications. That way you get notified by every video I post to the channel if you want to see more history content in this channel. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. So let's just get to it. Alrighty, here we go. Let's play the video.
1719, and a ship has just been captured by pirates off the west coast of Africa. Its crew was then forced to choose between becoming pirates themselves or becoming less alive. They were captured by the pirate captain Howell Davis. Davis died a few weeks later, and his crew then elected one of their former captives, Bartholomew Roberts.
There he is, Bartholomew Roberts.
If you're going to be forced to be a pirate, better to be a commander than a common man. With his newfound captaincy, Roberts sailed across the Atlantic, and the next year he captured his brand new flagship, which he dubbed the Royal Fortune. This ship was crewed by over 200 men and carried over 40 cannons, making it pretty formidable. So, shortly after becoming a captain, Roberts took to raiding the transatlantic trade routes, where he targeted the ships of any and every nation he could. His most famous raid was off the coast of Brazil, where he found a fleet of Portuguese merchant ships. He then proceeded to find the most valuable one, and then he looted it in front of all of the others. He then moved north, where he spent just over a year raiding literally everything, and he plundered roughly 400 ships during this period.
Alright, okay then, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so he basically raided around basically all many of the so yeah, he did this is actually a really true interesting fact here, that Bartholomew Roberts did actually after when he took over as a command here after the death of Howard Davis here, in the 1720s here, he basically raided off into the coast of into Brazil here, where he did land sacked and go a fight against basically many of the Portuguese ships here, and where he got 200 men and also 40 cannons and guns here, but it also had other ships had also many goods and many treasures and everything else here, and money, so that way to keep the pirates a lot more successful and to their quests here, and to become more extremely wealthy. And so Bartholomew Roberts did actually many across the raids here around the South Atlantic Ocean here, into parts of more northern parts of the coast of Brazil here, and then also raids through many islands and and the and also the Bahamas and the Trinidad Tobago, and so many coasts of the islands of the around into the Caribbean as parts of the Caribbean. And yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. I've actually learned watching about this before here. I watched basically a Disney Plus channel, which is basically good. I think it was believed it was called Pirates Around the World, the Other Side here. It's a really good documentary. I believe it's on Disney Plus here. But yeah, I can put a link in the description down below here, but I've actually watched it before and it was really cool. But anyways, let's continue the video.
In 1721, Roberts returned to West Africa and captured two French ships there, which he quickly pressed into his service. So operating a small fleet of ships wasn't uncommon for the more successful pirates of the era, since it allowed them to outnumber their prey, which meant that they'd be less likely to resist, which, in case you're wondering, was the point. Pirates would show the black flag to their prey to tell them that they would be spared, since it wasn't in a pirate's interest for those they robbed to fight back.
Well, right.
In case you're wondering, pirates flying the red flag was their way of saying, we're going to murder you no matter what.
I knew it.
So what exactly do we know about Captain Bartholomew Roberts? Honestly, not too much, except that he was born here in Wales in about 1682, making him about 37 when he became a captain. Also, it's known that he was exceptionally brutal, and when raiding, he wasn't afraid to torture and murder anyone who defied him or resisted his attempts to rob them. In January 1722, Roberts launched a raid on 12 ships anchored at Whydah, here in what is now Benin. They all surrendered barring one, a slave ship, which Roberts then set fire to, the slaves still on board. By this point, the British Royal Navy was starting to look for Roberts, and the task fell to the HMS Swallow, captained by Chaloner Ogle. Ogle, after destroying one of Roberts' smaller ships, returned to finish the job. Roberts and Ogle...
Right, okay, and then, alright, so that's also another cool, interesting fact here. So before, when he was just chased, before, when he was chased also by the British here, by Chancellor Ogle here, in the HMS Swallow here, he was also, basically, he also raided ships also in the west coast of Africa as well here, and, raided also Whydah, was now basically the city a part of, Benin here, and it's also kind of really interesting. What I also learned is about also the two different pirate flags here, such as the black flag, which is basically that we're gonna basically spare you, whereas the red flag that pirates hang out basically means death here, which is pretty brutal here, and so. And yeah, and basically also, so basically pirates, basically Bartholomew Roberts, in reality, they also basically, they like to basically mostly trade with also with goods basically wine, rum, gold, as well as also silver, and sometimes also basically enslave people, just like what Bartholomew Roberts did in the west coast of Africa here, and sometimes they could get paid, and then they do a raiding, and then they can get their money back here. Is what they are basically trying to do here, and so. And yeah, and I think also and now that we're in this part here, where he is now chasing about by the HMS Swallow here from the British Royal Navy here. So let's continue.
Clash, but the Swallow was, after all, a commissioned warship, and one with quite a bit more firepower than the Royal Fortune. During the fight, Roberts came down with a fatal case of being shot in the throat, and soon after, his crew surrendered.
In 1722, he was shot in the throat. I also heard that from documentary. To signal the end of
the Golden Age of Piracy. Roberts is, oddly enough, not as well known as the likes of Blackbeard or William Kidd, despite having captured more prizes than both during his 3-year career. Like most pirates, his legacy is simply one of imagination, since again, like most pirates, he was only active for a few years before he died. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Alright, well, alright, okay, that was actually pretty quick here. That was actually a really quick video of History Matters of Bartholomew Roberts, of the most successful pirate ever here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much about it here. Yeah, so I hope you guys basically enjoyed this video here, and give it out to basically a like and subscribe here, and turn on the bell notifications. That way you get notified by every video on the channel, and also into my overall thoughts here. Yeah, it is actually true here that around the 1720s, about Bartholomew Roberts here, that not only like I said before, that not only that he basically raided also many of the Portuguese ship here, and off to some parts of basically the coast off of to where Brazil here, and raided to their ships here to go over their about to have their men, as well as also getting their cannons, and also basically seeing all their treasure goods and loot here, but also basically they raided also islands also off of the coast into across this parts of the Atlantic Ocean, but also parts into the Caribbean, and then they also did some raids also into the west coast of Africa, and raided to Whydah and into what's now kind of the country of Benin here. and where they also captured also like treasure goods, but also captured many of the enslaved people here. And then because they wanted to like basically make them also to be part of a pirate crew here. And so and then like also how it's brutal also how he's good, but he was unfortunately his journey did not last long here, as he was then chased by the HMS Swallow here by Chancellor Ogle, in which he was then later they fought later in the Battle of the Night between the two battleships here, which his ship of Bartholomew Roberts, one of the Portuguese ships who was stolen by then, was the Great Fortune here, and that but he was then later shot in the neck here in 1722 here, and yeah, so that was basically all what this video is about there. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it here. And if you want to see this video, the link's in the description down below. But yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in my next videos. Mr. Aaron's out. Peace.